He is shocking everyone as Zion Williamson shows up to training camp looking slimmer and healthier than ever. We're going to talk about Zion's new look and also hear from the rest of his Pels teammates as Media Day went down today. We're going to talk about it all inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with y'all? It's your people, Melz On The MIC. Back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Thank you once again for tuning in and check your boy out. And also thank you once again for subscribing. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also make sure you like this video and share this video with your fellow Pels fans as we get the season underway. Training camp kicks out tomorrow before the Pels head out to Australia next week. And we're going to be covering it all right here on Pelicans Digest. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like it, share this video with your fellow Pels fans if you know them, many of them out there. And, of course, today was Media Day. We got our first look at the newly restructured New Orleans Pelicans that Joe Dumars has put together. And, of course, it has received a lot of flack for this offseason, of course. A lot of talk about this new roster and a lot of people still predicting that this team is going to finish towards the bottom of the Western Conference. But the overall theme that I got out of Media Day from hearing all the players talk today was keep that same energy. Stay over there and keep that same energy. They believe that they are a playoff team. So we're going to get into a lot of what the players had to say in the Media Day press conference inside this episode. And we're going to start with the franchise player, the guy that everybody's worried about, Zion Williamson, who showed up in the camp looking slimmer than ever. Right? Based on this photo posted by New Orleans Pelicans social media, wow. I mean, he has really slimmed down. I mean, really. While Zion is now coming in and checking into training camp at 264 pounds. This is the lightest he's ever checked into training camp in his NBA career. It is very noticeable. Many other seasons and a lot of other seasons, like I said before in a previous episode, Zion comes into camp healthy. You can still see the size on him, though. I think last year you saw a lot more muscle mass on him than you saw anything else. But now you see he looks like he is lighter than ever, and that should be helpful, especially for what he's getting ready to go into. And also, this might help y'all point Zion argument. A whole lot of y'all love this idea of putting Zion Williamson at point guard. A whole lot of y'all love this idea. But Zion had this to say when he was asked about how he's feeling going into the season. He says, I'm feeling really good coming into the season. The focus this past summer was to build a relationship with Joe and Troy and just stay locked in on the game. I watched a lot of him, and I worked a lot with T. Spoon this summer. Now that made me happy to hear when he said the name T. Spoon. Because if you recall, Zion's best seasons so far in the NBA was when Teresa Witherspoon was around. He loves Teresa Witherspoon. He wants that lady around. And clearly she has some sort of connection with him that brings out the best in Zion. So to have, and I don't think she's back on the Pelican staff. I would love to see her back on the Pelican staff. But it seems like Zion, I don't know, the Pels or Zion or whoever is personally making sure that she stays around him. But if you recall, during the 49-win season, Teresa Witherspoon was there. She was there and helped Zion through a lot of the issues, the emotional. If you recall that also that press conference a few years ago when he talked about how T. Witherspoon helped guided him through a lot of these things. It was there to be a caring mentor for him through a lot of the negative talk that he had to endure when he was with this team. So, again, I'm happy to see that Teresa Witherspoon is back in the fold with this team and also helping out with his rehab. According to Mac Giannotto of USA Today, he said Williamson said a difference this time in his rehab plan put together by the Pelicans when he came back from his hamstring injury last season was that the team incorporated more of a variety of workouts with football and boxing training involved to keep Williamson engaged throughout the process. He also prepared for the season with a familiar face, working out with the former Pelicans assistant and WNBA great Teresa Witherspoon. So like I said, man, I'm so happy to hear that him and Teresa Witherspoon have reconnected. A great relationship right there, and also will definitely help him get through the season, especially dealing with the pressure that he's going to be facing this season. Because you got to remember, this is going to be a make it, I've said it before, this is a make it or break it year for Zion Williamson. Everybody knows this. He even said that in his press conference. He knows that this is it. So he will do, and I think he's going to beast out the season, especially seeing him coming in with that slimmer look. I hope, man. I really feel good about Zion. If he feels good, I'm feeling great. For real, for real. The next player we want to talk about that we heard from today inside Media Day was Herb Jones Jr. I keep calling that man Herb Jones Jr. It's just Herb Jones. Herb had a lot to say. A lot of people had a lot to say about Herb and his extension earlier this season. And he spoke on his extension and why he wanted to stay in New Orleans. He said, quote, "I wanted to be in New Orleans. I know a lot of people probably had a lot to say about the amount of years that he had on his contract, but my family is being taken care of, and I love New Orleans." And again, if you got a great player like this that wants to stay with your franchise, you got to reward that guy. You got to make sure that guy stays around. And Herb made it clear that he wants to stay in New Orleans because he's close to his family. His family could drive in, come see him at games. He loves his quiet life. As you know, Herb ain't one of these flashy, extravagant NBA stars. He shows up to the facility in the clothes the team gave him, still driving the same Charger. Now he's about to make $90 million, and he's saying a damn thing changed. He's still going to be him. You keep that guy around. You keep Herb Jones around. We love Herb over here. But he's also talking about, when he's talking about the criticism of his amount of his contract, a lot of people believe that Herb Jones should have held out and not signed an extension this all season. So he can try to go get a super max deal or a max deal next season after this season is up. Because a lot of people believe that he still hadn't proven himself enough as far as his offensive capability. Yeah, we know he's a great defensive player, but nobody's willing to spend a whole lot of max money on just a defensive guy. So a lot of people was encouraging Herb to sort of hold out this season or don't sign an extension this season. But Herb said, "Nah, I want to be here. This is where I want to be." And the Pels made that happen. Great signing by the Pelicans. Thankful for Herb Jones Jr. Also, we heard from the guy that I think is going to be an all-star this season, Trey Murphy III. Trey Murphy, again, coming off an injury, will be ready on night one along with Herb Jones. And also we got an update on Jordan Hawkins. He also said that he's going to be ready on night one as well. So we got a lot of players that's going to be good to go on opening night. But Trey also has something to say about all the haters, telling everybody to keep that same energy out there about these Pelicans. He went on to say that I have a photo album in my phone that has every slight against the Pelicans or myself. I think that answers your question when he was asked how the team is handling the expectations by a lot of different analysts that this team is going to be at the bottom of the Western Conference. Trey said, "Look, keep that same energy. I love it." And that also leads me to Kevon Looney as well, who spoke in the press conference today, got his first look. I think he got rid of the Rick James look. I guess that's his all-season swag. But he showed up to camp today and finally said something. And I know a whole lot of those NBA analysts and all these people are going to skim past this. But he's finally said something that I've been saying on this show, and a lot of you have been saying consistently about this Pelicans team. And also, it gives you some insight into why he wanted to come on this Pelicans team and sign with this team. He said, quote, "This team 2 years ago was on the verge of doing something special. They were taking the right steps. Last year was just a blip. A year we can bounce back from and get back on the right path. We have a lot of talent. We can be a playoff team." Thank you, Mr. Looney. We could be a playoff team. That's what we've been saying here. It's there. The makings are there. And I think you made some proper additions with some of these guys to make sure that you can at least compete this season. All right? That's what I've been saying about this Pelicans team, is that you can compete this season and next season with these guys you have. That's why almost all these guys have 2-year deals, because you can still work that out while still getting ready and getting your young core ready, and also still having enough depth on this roster to go deep. I think this team can make the playoffs as well. We're just going to see how it shakes out. Well, speaking of Looney, his former Golden State teammate and newest Pelican, Jordan Poole. I love what he had to say. And here's what he had to say in his quote. He says, "I'm super excited, man," when he was asked about joining the Bells. He says, "I haven't had a good screen in 2 years, so it'll be dope." That's a shot at Washington right there. He said, "For me personally, it's a really big pickup just for how I play. I think it's huge for our team for the young guys, for DQ, for Missy, for opening the floor up for guys like Trey and Hawkins, Herb. Just our experience. We have a really good group, and I think Troy and Joe did a good job of putting this unit together." Again, even though he took a shot at Washington. Shout out to that writer who said a couple of weeks ago that Jordan Poole is going to regret wanting to be in New Orleans and is going to want to come back to Washington. This man just said he ain't had a good screen in 2 years to go get busy with. Jokes on y'all out there. The man happy to be here. We're happy to have him, and we're happy to have you here on Pelicans Digest. What are your thoughts on the Pelicans? Look, y'all need to keep that same energy. Y'all ain't look, it's time to get down and lay down with the fam right now. So what are your thoughts? Do you believe that this team is playoff ready? A lot of talk from the players themselves that they believe that they're a playoff team. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Pelicans are a playoff team, or it's just too early to tell? Share your thoughts with us right now in the comments, and we'll check back again with you tomorrow with more updates on what's going on with the Pelicans. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow Pels fans. It's Melz talking about them Pels right here on Pelicans Digest. I'll holla at y'all.